Into some trailers, then some other little bit of news, and then we're gonna be heading out. Hunter, do you have anybody to raid after this?
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I got somebody.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
All right, I'll rate them afterwards. All right, so let's get into some trailer discussions. Our first show we're going to be discussing is Indiana Jones. A fifth movie is happening, and it is going to be called Dial of Destiny. How do you all like that name, Dial of Destiny? I heard it was kind of not so good. You like that name?
I like it better than Kingdom Crystal Skull.
I
Personally,
hopefully it's a better movie. Hopefully it's a better movie than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
ugh.
Hopefully.
It,
Uh,
it, it can't be worse. It's got James
Oh,
Mann.
don't jinx, Hunter.
Sorry, you're
Don't you
right. You're
jinx.
right. You're right. I've been in the game long enough. I should know better. But I this me okay. So just full. I'll jump in. Why the fuck not? I cried watching this trailer. I was so happy because I remember when I saw the trailer for Kingdom of Crystal Skull, and my first thought was, oh. It was like when I saw the trailer for the first X Files movie, and I just went, oh, I don't think that looks good at all. Watching this, I went, this looks like what Indiana Jones should be. I get one last adventure with one of my favorite characters in the history of fiction. Don't reboot this shit, by the way. If you want to keep Indiana Jones going, do it in fucking games. But this, it's just it looks imaginative. It looks like the type of movie I want. I will say the one shot of the CGI with Indy on the horse. Yeah, gotta clean that up. Lucasfilm before the movie comes out. But really, though, this gives you a great scope of what we're looking at. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, because I'm a big Fleabag fan. I'm so happy she's in this shit. I can't wait to see what she does in the movie. I'm so excited she's in this. In the last scene in the trailer where he's using the whip and everyone just pulls a gun out, which is what people would do. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna have that indie humor that I think was missing significantly from the last film. Because I just thought most of the jokes were
yeah.
in the last movie. So
Because this takes place during the
I'm
60s.
really excited. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But we got Matt Nicholson as a villain. Like,
Yeah.
just off that alone, I'm hyped. I'm just like, yeah, give me Matt Nicholson in an Indiana Jones movie. But yeah, this just it looks fun, and it did exactly what a trailer should do. It actually got me excited for the movie. So
Nice. Dusk.
I have no faith in this movie. Full disclosure, I've seen what Disney has done to their projects that they've inherited from Lucasfilm, and I'm not really impressed. I think the Crystal Skull was probably the best could have gotten, but even under the best circumstance, that didn't quite work out. And now in the hands of from Disney and a much older Harrison Ford, which, to be fair to Harrison Ford, looks fantastic for his age.
I was gonna say, give him his props.
No. All the credit in the world. He looks absolutely fantastic for his age. Looks great. But I really don't have much faith in it. I'm also I will always be a little partial to the Lucas Arts games and the Indiana Jones games. I always wanted to see into movies that never did, like the Great Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. And I've always wanted those could have been so great movies, but
Yep.
now we're gonna get a Dial of Destiny. I hope to God that the rumors aren't true and it's not gonna involve time travel, because if all the other rumors are true, I kind of know what already the plot's gonna be, and oh boy. But like every
Yeah.
movie, I will watch it, and I will go in with an open heart and an open mind to see what it's all about. But even I agree, Hunter. That horse, that
Yeah.
CGI. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh
You
boy.
talking about when the scene where he's running through the crowd, or the scene in the
Oh my
it's
god.
in the
Yeah.
subway?
So I'm talking about that shot where he's like up on the horse and you see his face and he's like turned towards the camera.
Let me see if I
That
can pull it
shot,
up here.
like,
Oh, I got it
oh
right here.
Yeah.
yeah, that was the shot I was talking about. That shot, I was like, oof. I was like,
Oh, okay, I
that's a
see it.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah.
yeah, that shot. I was like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might be all right in a little phone. You should watch the trailer on the phone. But you see that on a screen bigger, 14 by 1440 pi, or you see it on a movie screen and it's that same effect. Ooh
yeah.
boy.
And the thing is, like, Disney has been really great for the most part with their de aging. Like, I mean,
They pioneered
Sam,
it.
like Sam Jackson looks great in like Captain Marvel, for example. But I will be the first to admit, my heart is still hurt from Kingdom of Crystal
That's fair.
Skull, uh, and to Dusk's point, while I don't have hatred for the things that Lucasfilm and that Disney has inherited, I will be the first to admit Rise of Skywalker is still one of those movies that I just can't fathom how you fumble the ball that badly. So there's always a chance that could happen again. So I have to put that out there. Like, as excited as I am, I fully acknowledge that there's a chance they could fuck this up, and I'm just like, God damn it, Lucasfilm, when I'm sad again. So I fully acknowledge that there is a chance of that. But there was not a trailer for Kingdom of Crystal Skull that got me even close as excited as I am for off this first trailer. So that's giving me a little hope. I'm giving them a chance to hurt me again, but like yeah, please don't fuck this up. Like, please don't fuck this up.
Interesting. Let's see. So I know that James Mangold, the director, I like his work. I like what he's done for the most part. I really do love Logan, Ford v Ferrari, which I do love. 310 to Yuma. Speaking about parodies, he did Walk the Line. I forgot he did that movie. When we talk about with the Weird Al movie and biopics, he did Walk the Line. He did Copland. He did Girl Interrupted. So he's done. For me, I think his record is better. Than bad. I think he's got a better record than bad record with a lot of track record with his movies. And if this is supposed to be the swan song to Indiana Jones, to Harrison Ford as the character, then hey, I think Mangold is a good pick. Maybe you say like, oh well, why hasn't Steven Spielberg come back? Well, he did come back and he did do Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, so obviously that wasn't really any much better. So maybe
Also, to be fair, that also involved George Lucas as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He
Lucas.
basically he caved to most of George. Like, I like George Lucas. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I like him as a pioneer of cinema and pioneering of special effects
Which
and what
he
he
is.
did for his stuff.
Yep.
However, he does need people to tell him no.
Yeah.
And Steven Spielberg just got tired. He just got so tired of telling George no.
yeah.
Yeah, George Lucas is kind of, if you're a wrestling fan, he's kind of like Vince Russo. Like, he'll have some good ideas but sometimes you rein that shit in. And there was just a point where he was going full, just full insanity. But
Yeah, but at least George pays for people's health insurance.
fair point. But I think Mangold, though, I think getting some new eyes on the character is going to be really beneficial. I think having a new character with a new vision will help. Now I will say I echo what Dusk says on the front of Fate of Atlantis, because that is actually a game that's so good. It's almost as good as Raiders. Like, it's really close. Like,
Really close.
Like, Fate of Atlantis is an incredible game, and it's one of the it is to Indiana Jones what Spider-Man Miles Morales is to Miles Morales. Like, it is an incredible Indiana Jones story, and not enough people know it exists or have played it. It's on Steam for like $5, by the way. So you
Steam or GOG.
yeah. So just pay the $5. But but I mean, you can do. The thing is, the one thing that does kind of make me go like, I have a little more faith too is what you can do with special effects just from the time we got Kingdom of the Crystal Skull to now. Like the ways the technology has jumped is insane. Like you can do so much with stuntmen and CG and all that. And I hope
Did you
I hope.
did you like some of the de aging
Okay.
stuff that you saw in the trailer?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it now, I will admit there is some like the horse thing is what just stood out to me as like, fuck. I think for the most part outside of that, I think the de aging looks pretty good.
Because like
First
this
trailer, so I'm not gonna,
this scene where the take the bag off his head, that's him de aged, right? That's de aged.
yeah,
Significantly.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and I'm gonna contribute some of that the de aging, I really don't freak out about until I see the final product because they're fine tuning that shit really until the final cut. But I think that looks pretty damn good. So I'm I'm very curious how they're going to fill in the gaps because I feel like it's not going to just take place in the '60s. I think we'll get some fill in between Crystal Skull up to this. Um, but I'm excited because Harrison Ford, seeing him at D23 and having him be so emotional about the film, I think they got it right this time. I think they're going to give at worst a good send off to one of the best characters um, in the history of fiction, and I'm so excited to see what they do. Um, I'm terrified to see what they do because
Yes.
I again I'm a little scared, I admit, but but just I don't know. This first trailer made me feel like I used to feel about Indiana Jones before Crystal Skull kind of just hurt me. So here's the hope that they stick the landing. I really, really hope they stick the landing. It's in my birth month when this comes out, so come on, Lucasfilm, don't fuck this up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got
Sure.
all the
I'm
classic
gonna quote
Indiana
you on that.
Jones stuff. You got the Nazis. You got the sound effects. You got the theme. You got the train. You got the whip. I mean, you know what I mean. You got all the stuff there, and also I'm excited to see Phoebe Waller Bridge. I'm excited to see her in this.
I
She's
am
like
too.
playing the goddaughter of Indy in this. I like her. You know what I mean? Good to see her kind of blowing up after Fleabag. And also that actor, what's his name? The one who was also in Logan too. What's his name? Boyd Holbrook. Boyd Holbrook.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like him. I liked him quite a bit. I think
Yeah,
he's
good.
got great presence, great personality, great charisma there. See him, see what he kind of does in the movie as well. I like to see him. I feel like Boyd Holbrook is like the new Ben Foster. He's like the new kind of young. He's like Ben
Yeah,
Foster 2.0
I can see
almost.
that.
Speaking, because Ben Foster was a guy that James Mangold worked with in 310 to Yuma. Wasn't he in 310 to Yuma, Ben Foster? I want to say he was. Was he?
Oh, I think he was.
Unless I'm thinking of another Western that he was in, but I think he was in 310 to Yuma, if I remember.
He's
Yeah, he was in
he's in
310.
the skeleton. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
He's in the Skeleton Twins too. That Bill Hader, Kristen Wiig movie. Like he's got a lot of range. I really like him.
yeah. So so you got some good kind of members of the cast there in this movie. And I know that Mango has been, he's been kind of doing a little bit of stuff on the Bird app, going kind of a little bit back and forth with people and responding to some people who think they know what everything's going to happen in the movie and this and that. That he's been kind of going at people for that. So I listen. I got faith in Mangold. I got faith in what he can do and his ability. And I'll see what wait till the final product. This is coming out in what, June next year?
June. Isn't it June 3rd or
30th.
something like that?
Yeah, June
Oh,
30th.
30th. Okay.
June
Okay.
30th. I will say though, Mads Mikkelsen still not as hot as Tilda Swinton, or was it no Kate Blanchett in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
Kate Blanchett, yeah. Oh yeah, Kate Blanchett playing a villain is always like
Yeah,
I always cheer for her.
yeah. That Bob really worked. I was like, damn, this racist bitch. Why she gotta look so?
Weirdly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird look and it works for Kate Blanchett because she's Kate Blanchett. But
Yeah, the Bob worked. Yeah, that was a great look. Yeah. So yeah, June 30th. So is it next year or is it just it's still the years the turn? I assume it's next year.
Next year.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah, next year.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll see. All right. Moving on from Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, we're discussing Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So this is supposed to be the final Guardians of the Galaxy film. James Gunn, he's coming back to direct this final movie in the Guardians of the Galaxy saga here. Looks like more of a somber, kind of type trailer. Not at the beginning though, because we still see Drax is still dumb as hell. But you know what I mean? It's like he's never. I mean, bro, you had kids, bro. You never played with a kid before. We know you had kids before, man. Like, what is wrong with you? You never played catch with your kids before.
Fair. If
But
this kid is like Drax, it could have taken the hit.
I mean, I guess so. That's a good point. But that moment did make me laugh though. I mean, he just whacked that kid. That kid just fell all the way down. Like Jesus Christ. That to me, I did laugh at that moment. But it's funny to see that where the Guardians are now compared to the first movie because you see them in their outfits looking kind of more closely. A little bit to their outfits from the comics, a little bit more like actually the outfits
It's yeah.
that were part of like what was the name of the group of cops in the first movie? What was
Nova.
it? Nova Corps. The Nova Corps.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks more closely at something like that, where you do see them as being like more peacekeepers of the galaxy, doing real kind of adult business, doing their job and everything like that. So it's kind of good to see that, and kind of see the crew here. Also, you got some new people who are going to be joining here. The High Evolutionary, who's played by the same actor who was in Peacekeeper. Also, you're going to have Adam Warlock, who's going to be in this movie. He's going to be played by Will Poulter, who Adam Warlock
Yeah.
looks. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's not as gold as I thought he would look. Let me go to Will Poulter in here, but he's. But Hunter, you're the big kind of comic book guy here. What do you think is kind of going to be happening with Adam Warlock and the High Evolutionary here?
I think we are setting up Nova. That's what I think we're doing. As a matter of fact, I would almost bet money. That's what we're doing.
Probably.
Um, I like, I like Adam Warlock's look. It is. It's almost like half gun influence, half comic book influence. It's definitely a blend. Um, I'm curious how it's gonna look in like movement, is what I'll say, and also when he's activating his powers, he could be flashing gold, so it could be more comic accurate. I love the fact we're getting like the more traditional comic look for the Guardians. I'm really excited to see how that's gonna the fact that we're getting that. Um, I'm sad because I know Rocket's origin,
Oh,
and we had to get here at some point. But if you haven't read Guardians, I will simply say Rocket's origin is fucking tragic. And when you realize what Rocket's origin is, it's like, oh, this is why Rocket is the way he is. And they've hinted at it and
All the way
stuff.
from the first movie.
Yeah, but when it's truly laid out, it is a legit punch in the fucking gut. And I know we're gonna get that sequence or sequences in here, and I'll be real, I'm a little terrified about how hard I'm gonna die because I know that shit. I don't know, like ever since I got cats, anything happening to pets in movies just hits me way harder now. like so I'm just like, oh god, we gotta do this. But um the way it looks in particular, the way it's shot, it feels darker, it feels heavier in tone, just from what we've seen already. Um the High Evolutionary, who the guy from Peacemaker is playing, he's very interesting because he has a lot of ties to X Men, which is just another you know step forward towards getting the X Men proper in this movie. Um, there's a shot where you see this woman like running on a wheel, like a hamster wheel.
yeah.
Um, I um, I think that's a callback most likely to the genetic accelerator in the comics, which has its own origins that are pretty grim, just off of the name. Um, I'm excited to see how Gamora is going to fit in because, as you mentioned, this is not our Gamora. This is the alternate timeline Gamora, so she has
Yeah,
everything.
her character pretty much got fridged.
Yeah, and so I'm really curious. I'm really curious how Gunn's gonna wrap this up because it feels like um, the team's gonna look drastically different once this film is over. But I don't know if you. I don't know if you kill them all. Like I doubt you do, but the team's gonna look different by the time it's all said and done. So I guess the question is who takes over the Guardians potentially. Um, Also seeing Lila Otter in the movie. That's one thing I can give away without getting too spoilery. She's Rocket's soulmate in the comics, and so
Right. There was a scene of them hugging. I was like, oh, okay, they're
Yeah.
just gonna show that.
See it right here.
yeah. So that looks so I'm really curious how they're gonna get into that. And then we get we get the shot where it looks like Adam Warlock is thrown down with Nebula, and that's a fight I definitely want to see. So um there's some really intriguing shit here, especially near the end where we see Groot using blasters. There's a lot going on in this trailer, surprisingly.
What do you think them
but
looking like Teletubbies? What you think that's all about? Why they dress like Teletubbies?
I hope that's an Among Us reference for absolutely no reason because it's space. That would just be a very James Gunn
Oh.
thing to do. But I'm not really sure, honestly. That is actually a shot that has me kind of perplexed. So
Do you
yeah,
think? I'm asking you, Hunter. I'm out curiosity.
yeah.
I know very little. I know some things about Nova. Do you think they'll do the MCU seems to be doing the ultimate versions of characters. Do you think they're going to do the ultimate version of Nova's origin, or do you think they'll stick to more closer to the original comics?
That's a good question. Because
Because it kind of mixed a little bit, even with Peter Quill. They did. They
yeah,
definitely did not stick with ultimate version of Peter
no.
Quill, but they almost kind of got close to the original version of Peter Quill, and then a little bit later Peter Quill, and they kind of took the pieces that they thought might be fun.
That kind of feels like what they're doing in general now
Yeah.
because it feels like like for the most part they acknowledge like okay we've got like two good things that came out of the ultimate universe we should just like burn everything else with fire, but it feels like they're picking the little bits that they kind of go like we can make this work for the MCU and tying with the original comic origin, so it feels like kind of a gumbo of everything.
Yeah.
I would say they probably lean closer to to normal origins, but you could also do the whole thing of Thanos killed the most of the Nova Corps. Oh look, some survived. Like you could make it be that simple
Right.
if you wanted to. But I don't see a world where I feel like the post credit has to be Nova. Like it almost feels like if it's not, then I don't know what else it could possibly be.
Also, if Nova is just a regular version, just part of the Nova Corps, who's just a named character who happens to be like really good at their job, or a rookie that's getting better, that seems a little too far in for him. It seems like, oh, but in the regular one, he's actually more powerful. They only kind of made Nova Corps into a almost Green Lantern Corps later on.
Yeah, and I think what you could do is
Maybe
if
do a
you
mix of both,
they
honestly.
they, they, they could, but I think with Marvel making a clear intention of getting younger with some of these characters, having a 16-year-old Nova interacting with Kamala Khan,
Oh,
which
you think
is
they're gonna
just
do that route?
I think they're gonna go that route.
Oh, that would
Personally.
make sense because
Uh,
she's floating in space right now. Who's gonna rescue her? Nova. Fair enough. Okay.
No.
See,
Yeah. All right. No, I know how a producer thinks. All right, there you go. No, I mean it does. If you're gonna go with
yeah,
that route, they have been trying to make Nova younger in the Ultimate universe.
exactly.
So I guess, but they could also still stick with the idea that he also has a power, and
Oh
but he
yeah,
just happens to also be part of Nova Corps.
I think there are cases like a case you could make for either one.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a matter of if you don't want to have him be a teenager, how old do you want to age him up?
Do you think they're
Like,
going to actually come back to the idea, the fact that Peter Quill has like elder god blood in his body? Are they ever going to actually come back to that and utilize that? Or is he just going to be like Peter Quill? Because that's
I
also a
think
big problem. I'm wondering is Adam Warlock's most famous arc was doing Infinity War, and he was a no-show.
Yeah.
Arguably, his most famous arc, he warns everyone about the Infinity Gauntlets and all that, and helps. And he was a no-show. So you're like, well, what do you do with him now?
what you could do, I think you could easily have him be kind of the person who has encountered a different version of Kang, or maybe even Kang the Conqueror as we know him coming up in Quantum Mania. You could easily have him be that person who's interacted with him and go like, y'all don't understand what sort of danger you guys are actually in, and that's an easy reason to get him even to that's an easy reason to get him to Earth right
I
there.
would love it if a surprise cameo of Captain Marvel shows up.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I would absolutely actually be impressed. I'm like, oh, Captain Marvel, the Kree hero, shows up. Shit. Okay.
I mean, we're getting Captain Marvel sequel, so I mean, like, I think we're gonna
Marvels.
yeah, Marvels. There you go. I think we're gonna dive more into that,
God, I hope so.
but yeah, Adam Warlock is kind of the wild card. Like,
Do you see him
because I'm like, what do you do with him?
taking over the Guardians?
I don't think he'd take over the Guardians. He's too much of a prick.
yeah, he's kind of an asshole. It's kind of like whenever Namor joins the Avengers. And
Thank you. That's actually a perfect example.
Yeah,
he's a less assholish version of Namor, but he's still in that assholish range.
Yeah,
like if it was a bomb, he's still in the radius of assholishness.
Yeah, like it'll be interesting because the whole concept of grief, you could easily tie that in with Adam Warlock so easily.
Yeah, and, especially his origin and how he was made.
Yeah, and that could be the justification for having him lead the Guardians, but it could be an uneasy partnership. So there's a couple avenues they could go, but I don't see Adam Warlock being a one-off. I don't think James Gunn's that dumb. I think he understands.
They might tie. They actually, considering Alec Warren's origin, they might tie it back to Peter in a way. There's a couple of ways they could easily tie it, especially considering his origin with Ego.
True.
Because Adam Warlock does have some stuff with Ego. So
yeah, and
there's a lot of routes. There's a lot of rumors too on. Because apparently James Gunn's like, yeah, I have to fit a lot of stuff in this movie, and I have to do a lot of character stuff. So I imagine this is going to probably be a stacked deck, especially since now.
How long has the runtime been announced for this movie?
No. I think we're looking at
2:45.
Yeah, I think we're in that range. Which for Volume 3, that's totally justifiable for me.
If this is the end of a lot of characters, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but it's gonna be interesting because I mean, there's multiple things they could set up. There's multiple avenues they could go. There could be more sword stuff in here that we're just not aware of.
Yeah, I guess there could. I didn't even think about that.
Like, yeah, there's a lot there's a lot of directions Gunn could go if he wants to, but
I know he said specifically he wanted to build a good, better bond between Gamora and I know specifically between because Peter's feeling bad about Gamora and Nebula and him because they're like she's like one of the members of the group that hasn't really bonded with many people. I know he said something a long while ago. I was like, yeah, I really want Nebula and Peter Quill to kind of have like a thing and kind of mourning as well over Gamora and kind of have renewed. So I'm like, Jesus, you got so much in this shit.
Yeah, and Gunn also said this is supposed to be Rocket's movie. This is Rocket's movie more than anything, right?
Yeah, so it's like a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, James Gunn, like, let's call it what it is. Like, yes, he's in head of DC, which congratulations, by the way.
They need it.
Yeah, God, Lord knows they need it. But James Gunn understands these characters, and he clearly loves these characters. And if he doesn't do these Guardians films, he's not running DC right now. I don't think he's gonna let this end on a low note. And considering that, I think each film has gotten better in the way that Gunn's been able to weave the Guardians in with Infinity War and Endgame and just make them work. I'm sure he knows exactly where he needs to land on Volume 3 for potentially the next person to come through and just pick up the baton and continue with this with this story. But I'll be the first to admit I'm sad. I'm sad James Gunn is leaving. I'm sad that this is it. When you think about someone like Ryan Coogler and what they've done with the MCU, it's like, oh my god, thank God for you. And I feel the same way about James Gunn. It's just like, this is it, and that's sad. But here's to hoping that he sticks a landing, and that these characters get the ones that are leaving get the send off they deserve. And but yeah, I don't think this. I think this will be by far the darkest one, and I don't think a lot of
if they're going on Rocket's origin, it's gonna go pretty. It's gonna go pretty bad.
Yeah. So
and do you think they're doing
be prepared, people?
Bait and switch here, like trying to show that Drax may die, but it's gonna be Rocket trying to do in the trailer here?
Drax ain't gonna die.
I don't think Drax is dying.
Rocket maybe.
Rocket. So it's funny because it almost feels like they're really trying to herring you into thinking Rocket's gonna die. Like it almost seems too obvious, almost. So there might be a bait and switch.
They might kill Nebula.
They might. If
everybody can die except for Groot, Drax, and Gamora.
So the only reason I think Drax could die is because Batista's even talked about how he's just like, yeah, I'm kind of over being like ripped as fuck and being shirtless, and I'm like, I mean, they could kill you. I mean, they could kill you off. I mean, if you really want that,
or it could be like just pudgy.
I mean, true. I mean,
you could just show up later, like not even like not ripped. He's still pretty ripped, but he's just got a bit of a gut, and they make fun of it.
Or we could do CGI, or you put some dots on him, and then boom, there you go.
Yeah. He just so he doesn't have to do that shit no more. Chris Pratt. They made fun of Chris Pratt for not being like super ripped in Infinity War.
Oh, that was so funny. He's just like, oh, all right, I like lesson received. Yeah, but I don't know. Like Rocket seems like the obvious choice just from what we see in the trailer, but that's almost why I think it's not gonna happen.
I'd be so mad if they kill Peter Quill for real.
Like, my feelings on Chris Pratt aside, like Star Wars is such a complicated character, and that's kind of why I want them to keep him around.
Yeah.
Because I think there's more you can explore there. But I feel like someone's got to die in the Guardians, and Rocket kind of seems like the obvious choice. But
his brother could die.
I mean, oh man, how fucked up that be? He's just
I know. He's like, we're leaving together. I'm leaving. I can't leave your brother.
Oh, that would be some shit. But I don't know. All I'll say is I'm really excited for it. Like the upcoming Phase 4, the upcoming Phase 5 stuff, like Guardians and probably Captain America 4 are like my top, like most anticipated, just because there's so many directions they could go with either film, and I don't know where they're going. That makes me actually excited as someone who's been able to call a lot of this shit. But I don't know. Like, I don't know what they're doing this, and I'm actually excited for that. So,
yeah, it's interesting. This is coming out May 5th, 2023. May 5th. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume
around
3.
the time the first one came out.
Yeah, it was around the time. Yeah, back in 2014.
All those years ago. God damn, 2014.
Yeah. And then the second one came out, what was it, 2017?
2017, yeah.
It's a good 3 years later, yeah.
And 6 years in Guardians films. That's crazy. Damn.
All right. Our next trailer is going to be for Transformers: Rise of the Beast. So here, this is the 5th Transformers movie. 5th one. Six. Okay, damn.
Last night was 5.
Last night
Beetle. I'm sorry, Beetle.
Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Beetle. Beetle.
Beetle. Whatever.
Yeah. Is this a 7? Wait. So Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, Oh god, was
Third one with not with Shia LaBeouf,
Dark
not
Side
Megan
of the Moon.
Fox.
yeah, thank you. Last night. Oh no. Age of Extinction.
Yeah.
Last night. Bumblebees. This is a 7-1.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
7. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Shit.
Goddamn.
I
7 of these.
I did like Bumblebee. I did very much did like that one. I thought that was very good. That was directed by the same guy who did Kubo and the Two Strings, Travis Knight. I did love Kubo and the Two Strings. I think he
Yep.
did a wonderful job with Bumblebee, making it. I mean, yes, it was just Iron Giant. Yes, it was just ET, but hey, it worked. I mean, if you got a good formula, hey, it works and it works.
And it's an excellent film.
Yeah, so I mean, it works and it works well. Um, and it seems like with this movie, they took the lessons from Bumblebee, that people were talking about, and then they applied it to this film because you see, like, Optimus Prime looks like Optimus Prime from the cartoon. Like, he's not just some compiled looking metal shit that, like a lot of the Transformers just look like. They didn't really have very much of a distinct kind of look. It just was like just metal, sharp metal, really. You know what I mean? Like you have, Optimus who does look like Optimus. And with this, it seems like it's bringing back to, again, you have a character like a human character who's going to interact with the Autobots and the Decepticons. Which the guy, I've seen this actor before. I think he was in, what was that movie, that Lin-Manuel Miranda movie, In the Heights? Was that the same guy from In the Heights?
In the Heights.
I think that's the same guy.
I think so.
I
think so, actually.
Yeah, and he the first you see the first show, he comes out smooth out that car. You see him, he just pops out that car. That was kind of smooth. I was like, damn, all right, man, yeah. Like you see him right there. It's like he steps out, Transformers there behind him. Yeah, I was like, that's kind of smooth. So with these Transformers, I've only liked 2 of them, Bumblebee and the first one. That's about it. The rest of them, they can go to hell. So
Yeah,
That's accurate.
That's
accurate.
The first one, you weren't wise to the game, like the racism game and the sexism game, but there's still some like cool action shit in that. I think every other one is a blight on humanity and on cinema. I hate the last night in particular where Decepticons fought Autobots during slavery, and Hitler got killed by Autobot pocket watch. I just that shit just angers me on a level I can't even begin to express.
Transformers. Hey, the Transformers helped the Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
Literally built it. They were trains.
Yeah, goddamn, I hate that.
Anthony Hopkins did the whole exposition for it. How are you not impressed by it? Anthony Hopkins read it.
God, as a black dude sitting in that theater, I was like, are you just trying to get me to walk out?
Yes.
I was so close to walking out of that theater because of that shit. But yeah, Josh, you're right. Bumblebee is, it's Iron Giant, but it's by far the best live action one by
wide margin.
You can see Cybertron. You can tell what's happening, and you can actually see the kills, and it doesn't look like a 5-year-old just banging Transformer toys.
And it looks
together.
like there's gonna be like a big battle.
All over.
I don't know if this is Cybertron or this is Earth. I think it's maybe Cybertron. Like you see this big battle at the end of the trailer here.
This might be Cybertron.
Yeah.
This is I think this is Cybertron. Yeah.
I will never forgive in the last night that they basically show Hot Rod and he's nothing like the character he was, and they basically they don't even he's not like the character he is at all, and they never do anything with him.
Nope.
And I'm like, can't Rodimus Prime get a break? God damn it.
Dude, Bumblebee can barely get a break. Man.
I know. I was hoping for too much. So I have no hope in seeing my favorite Transformers series, Beast Wars. Say whatever you want about the CGI. The same CGI that they did for Reboot, underrated as hell.
Agreed.
Reboot is underrated as hell.
It is.
And its CGI gets much better actually not too far into the series. Like Beast Wars, they get better at the animation. That you just forget that it's like, this is all right. It's actually really good animation for the time. I worry it's going to be more like Beast Machines.
So here's the thing.
Oh no.
I think that everyone involved understands the very thin ice that they're on. Because because last night people forget that movie was not a commercial success, and even the
First
most
one,
yeah,
not to be.
even the most stout defenders of Transformers went, okay, yeah, this is bullshit. So I think that people Bumblebee had the Batman Begins problem, where it's a great
Hmm.
movie that followed an absolute piece of shit that basically destroyed the property
Oh,
that
like the Batman and Robin.
yeah, because people forget Batman and Robin killed Batman so bad we had to wait like what a
Iced him for a
decade.
decade.
Yeah, which for Batman, which DC loves to shoehorn Batman in wherever the fuck they can, and that
Yeah.
even killed him that bad.
It's gonna be
But
harder without Kevin Conroy.
I mean, true. R.I.P. Kevin Conroy, you brilliant
Rest in peace.
bastard. Um, but Bumblebee was one of those movies where I was like, oh my god, I can tell what's happening. A white guy actually calls out the fact they're called Decepticons, which I was just like, fucking thank you, someone said that shit. Uh,
Yeah.
like it it's beautifully self aware and it's clearly made by people who get what Transformers is supposed to be. Um, Admittedly, this new film, I'm always hesitant about them falling back into, sexist, racist bullshit tropes. And, oh yeah, Autobots are here too. But, man, I can't remember the last time a Transformers trailer outside of Bumblebee got me that hyped. Just seeing just a little bit you even showed, I was like, oh my god, like, give me this shit tomorrow. So, um, I'm excited for a Transformers movie, which is a nice feeling to have. So
Yeah. The lead actor's name is Anthony Ramos. And the person who's directing this, Stephen Capel Jr. Let's see what he's done before. So he did Creed 2 and The Land. That's what he's directed before.
the land, the land is really good. And hot take, I like Creed 2 more than I like Creed 1. But
That's
that's a whole
crazy
other
talk.
conversation.
That's crazy talk.
Will get into it at some point. I like it better. But anyways, it this is a hell of a swing. Like you get someone. I mean, the guy's 34. Like he's a young motherfucker, and you're giving him a Transformers franchise. Like
They
that's
have given people with less movie experience bigger
absolutely,
franchises.
absolutely. But I think it speaks to the faith they have in him to give something like this. Where they're still trying to build the brand back up. So I
Sure.
think that So I mean, I hope he sticks to the landing. If there's one thing we know from Creed 2, he can direct the fucking fight. And again, just the bit we were seeing at the end of the trailer, it's like, oh my god, look at the scope. You can actually see who people are based on their colors, and they're actually in frame, and they're not, you know, they don't have big lips and aren't, they don't have dangling metal balls or any of that
Yeah.
bullshit. It's like,
Did
Um,
they get the original voice actor for Optimal Prime?
uh,
no, Optimus Primal is
no, no, no,
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so, but a part of me, as soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh, I expected the voice from Beast Wars," and it's just like, "Oh."
So,
Part of me.
Dust,
I
since
like
you
Ron Perlman. Don't get me wrong.
I get that though.
so
Like
you
characters, I
watched
get that.
Beast Wars, and so what is Rise of the Beast? What is Beast Wars? What is that all about?
Uh, I guess Hunter, do you want to, or should I?
I'll go ahead, man.
Okay, all right. So Beast Wars is technically after the Gen 1 and Gen 2 of the original Transformers series. It came after Gen 1 and seasons 1 and 2 of Transformers, before the Transformers animated movie, which killed off most of the cast, including Optimus Prime, and replaced them with Hot Rod, who became Rodimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, RC, and a few other characters. Against Galvatron, who was just a resurrected Megatron, but nobody knows. He's just the new bad guy. Because, whatever. Anyways, that series isn't great. Failed. Had a great promise based on the movie. Really not great. Unfortunately, because they didn't focus on really Rodimus Prime doing anything at all. Like, just at all. Which is a damn shame. Mostly Ultra Magnus. Anywho, after that series, they're kind of in a pickle. Well, what do we do next? And 3D CG animation was the next bit, so they decided to take a big risk and do a new concept about, well, what if the machines turned from animals? That was Beast Wars. and that series had 3 seasons, was actually really well received,
Yeah.
and surprisingly, most people were like, "Oh God, this is going to be terrible," but it ended up becoming, because of the writing and the characters, they made a really good. Well, like, people still cry about Dinobot.
Yeah,
People
that's
still cry about Dinobot, and I'm
true.
not gonna. And I'm not gonna. It's one of the few times I'd be like, "You can cry about Dinobot. It's okay. You can cry about Dinobot. It's okay. That's on the acceptable list of things to cry about. Not even like be ashamed as a man cry. I'm like, no, anybody. It's okay. Anybody can cry about Dinobot. It's okay. It's like Optimus Prime. I forgive that. That's like acceptable. Or like Darth Vader or other people that you care about. Whatever. So that did really well. Ended on a really cool note. Really happy. Going back to Cybertron and all that. And then Beast Machines happened and ripped all that apart and basically started
Yeah.
over, and is not well liked for many reasons. So with the Rise of the Beasts, I'm curious to see what you did, because in the original series, the Beast Wars, it was actually revealed later that these, or just even early on, these are descendants of the
Yes.
Decepticons and the Autobots. They're not even part. There are no more factions. It's now just the, if I remember correctly, the optimal. What are they called? The something
Oh,
Predacons, Maximals. The
yeah.
Maximals and the Predacons, and they're a lot smaller than the original Autobots and Decepticons. There is a truce between these characters, and now this new enemy faction of the Predacons are trying to upset that and take advantage of it. And there's actually some good political intrigue in there too, where the other Predacons are like, no, wait, we're not strong enough to defeat them now. That he's doing it too soon. It'll force our hand. So there's a lot of small things. I don't know what they're gonna do in the movie, because Optimus Primal shouldn't be around at the
At
time
all.
that
Yeah.
Optimus Prime shouldn't. Not at all. He's many years, like 1,000 years later.
So is Optimus Primal? Is he in the shot where it's like the battle in Cybertron where he's like
Yeah.
swinging? That's him.
Yes, that is him. He's there. He's clearly there. So I don't. But he does mention, Ron Perlman mentions things about time and about things of past, present, and future. I'm like, are we? Are they going to do like a fight of all time, past, present, and future all at once? Are they time traveling and then telling him stuff, like on the cusp of what will eventually be what the Transformers people become? I don't know what's going to happen, honestly. It honestly looks like they're just doing their own thing. They've been doing their own thing for a long damn time, anyways.
True.
Who's the Transformer that's the Porsche? Who's that? Is that like a character from the show?
You mean the one with the kid in the car?
Yeah.
Uh, I have no idea. It could be Ultra Magnus. Magnus.
Okay. All right.
True.
I
Yeah.
think he was a Porsche. He could also possibly be, if we're including the new characters, he might be the guy with the micro. No, he's not going to be. Nobody's going to remember the micro machine guy.
Yeah.
The guy who talks super fast. They ain't ever going to get that. It's probably Ultra Magus.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, or if they do, but I don't know. He could be a completely new character. RC shows up, so I'm like, oh, well, she was part of the new cast along with Hot Rod and others. Part of that new cast coming in that was in Gen 3 and 4 of the original series.
That's why I'm really curious on who is going to be in this. Because to your point,
I hope Hot Rod shows up. He'll maybe better this time.
I do too. But it feels like they are definitely doing their own thing. Which
Yeah, very much.
But also, I think there is an awareness now of this team moving forward because there is no Michael Bay involved. Thank
Thank
fuck.
Christ. He retired. He's done.
I think there is an awareness of the team now of going like, we cannot fuck this up. But if you're pulling from multiple different types of canon and you're doing it respectfully, you can make the shit work.
Yeah, I agree.
And,
Huh.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say. So you got Pete Davidson in this. He's voicing Mirage. You got Peter Dinklage, who's
Yeah.
Scourge.
Holy guys.
You got
Okay.
Lisa Kushi, who's RC.
Yeah.
Michelle J. Rodriguez, who's Nightbird. John DiMaggio, who is Stratosphere. Cristo Fernandez, who's
Okay.
Wheeljack. You have
Wheeljack. Okay.
David Sublo, who's Rhinox. And Toby
I think that's.
Nuigi.
Oh, there was Rhinox. Oh yeah.
Reek.
Reek.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you got Peter Cullen,
sorry,
who's
there's
Optimus Prime, and then Ron Perlman, who's Optimus Primal.
there's also there's going to be someone who voices Chitara. We saw Chitara
Yeah.
there. He was Chitara was basically the hot rod for Beast Wars
And honestly, though,
or Bumblebee of the original series.
but honestly though, Hasbro, keep the shit close to the chest. I don't need to know everything. Like,
Yeah, surprised me.
yeah, exactly. Throw some surprises out there, because I think Transformers fans, and I'm like a casual, like I know a good amount about the canon, but I'm a casual fan. I just want to see fandoms do well and not be just taken advantage of, just using the name to go ahead and turn a profit. And I really do feel like after Bumblebee, they're like, okay, we've got something here.
And
Um,
Bumblebee was like the weird time where it was the right movie at the wrong time.
yeah, it's just because it came out.
It
I
came
think,
out after last night, and all that goodwill had been long been spent. If this came
Yeah.
after like the first movie,
oh,
or
wow,
even
a different conversation.
hell, even after 3, even if it was after 3, after the Shia LaBeouf stuff, it's like let's go back, let's go to another person as Bumblebee before all this. That would have been probably better, but yeah, way too late by that point.
Yeah. But I'm happy though. Bumblebee's something that people have started to discover and go like, this is really fucking good. It's like, yeah, it's good shit. Yeah. And a really good John Cena role too, which is always fun. But
Yeah.
but yeah, here's to hoping. Like, just come on, don't fuck this up. Just
Yeah.
give me some good action, some light humor. I'm happy we're getting. I'm happy we're getting some humans in front of the camera we're not familiar with too. Like, let these people, find
Yeah.
their own lane and actually make this shit work for them.
Yeah. So this is coming out June next year. So you got Indiana Jones and you got Transformers. Yeah. Is there anything else coming out in
11,
June?
come again.
We say
One
Dusk?
of those good old days. I was like, it's like 2000. It's the summer of 2011, 2009, all over again.
Like, oh, what are you seeing? Oh, the new Indiana Jones.
What's that? Oh, I'm gonna see the Transformers 1 next.
Yeah. That was Transformers, Rise of the Beast. Next up, we're going to be discussing the trailer for Last of Us. A new trailer for that came out, which is based on the adaptation of the video game. It's getting turned into an HBO series starring Pedro Pascal. And who's the little girl? I only know her as Lyanna Mormont. Who's the little girl? I forgot her name.
Ellie. Is Ellie?
No, I'm talking about the actress.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. I don't know. What's her name?
I just know her as like Little Bear. That's the only thing I know. Like Little Bear there.
Yeah.
Bella Ramsey. So that's even kind of a Game of Thrones name, Bella Ramsey.
True.
So you have it here. So a little bit more of a story trailer, a little bit more detail there. You see a little bit more of Pedro Pascal and the interaction between Bella Ramsey, Joel, and Ellie. This is also from the creator of Chernobyl, which got rave reviews. I still have to check it out. I hear that miniseries was amazing.
One of the greatest shows HBO's ever produced.
It is really good. Be warned, it gets
Yeah, it's a rough watch. Like,
Yeah.
it is a rough watch. Like, I cannot stress enough, it is a rough fucking watch, because yeah, like, there's not even enough time to get into why it's rough, but it's a rough show to watch, but it's a brilliant show.
Yeah. So what are you all expecting from this? I mean, have both of you played the game, right?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
I platinumed it.
Platinum.
nerd.
Okay.
Hey man, I'm a trophy hunter. I used to be, but then I have responsibilities now, and
Fair.
I gotta do. But I save my trophy huntings for the PlayStation exclusives now.
Fair. It's the little bit I've played because I got like 5 hours into it. Um, the clickers are genuinely terrifying, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
hearing that sound, like my hand, my hand still twitches when I hear that shit. I'm like I'm
Yeah.
like fuck, like it's like when you hear the snarling on Resident Evil 4, but um, the way this is shot is fucking gorgeous. Like I mean, I know like it's almost kind of like how Pixar of animation, where you kind of just go like, yeah, it should look good, but HBO, the stuff they produce just looks so goddamn good, and just the way they're playing with like reflections and stuff in here
Mm.
and shadow is just beautiful. And Pedro Pascal, I know a lot of people call him Space Daddy. He calls himself Space Daddy, which fair enough. The man is one of the best actors we have in the game right now, and I think we need to just take a second and appreciate how great Pedro Pascal is, like in pretty much every goddamn thing he's in, whether it's fucking massive weight, the incredible weight of massive talent, whether it's this, whether it's
He and
Mando,
Nick Cage
or
were great in that movie.
yeah, like he just does not miss, and he's an incredibly like clearly fun guy. But when you see that gear of his where he just turns it on and he gets darker and he goes to that place, um, we get so many hints of that in this trailer, and I just can't wait to see him snap. It's gonna be it's gonna be so cool to see him just go off. Um, but I don't know what I expect. Like um, and I think Dusk will probably agree with me on this. I think The Walking Dead just kind of beat any sort of like zombie love I had left out of me. Like I was just kind of like, I'm so over zombies after Walking Dead. But every so often I get something where I go, oh, that's right. This is what it can be when you actually make this gimmick work and give a fuck about it. Um, so I'm excited to be scared of zombies again.
Yeah. Yeah, I played the games a little bit. Um, and yeah, I mean, hearing the sound of the clickers, that's a very definitely a scary sound, and I mean, it just works really well. I mean, playing the game, knowing the story, it's like, well, what is this show going to do to really surprise you that much in terms of, because with video games, I just think it's a different experience, given how immersive it is. You know what I mean? Playing it, seeing everything, really experience it firsthand. What is the show going to do to really enhance that? Can it be on par with something like Last of Us, or potentially surpass it? I don't know. That's probably a tough challenge. Seeing the interaction. I mean, Pedro Pascal. I mean, he knows how to really work with other actors too. I think he's very great at that. And to see what could happen, and seeing this world and seeing it kind of come alive, in this series, it's going to be potentially great. And like I said, HBO is known for producing some great quality content. And to see, like, when we get our first look at like what the clicker kind of looks like, because in this trailer we don't actually even get to physically see the clicker. I think they're going to be
No.
saving that for the show itself, which is a smart decision. There to save that for the show. Yeah. I mean, this is coming out January 15th, so pretty soon that this is going to be coming out very,
Yeah,
very,
like
very,
a
very soon.
month.
Oh no, you do see the clicker at the very end here. You see with the clicker, yeah, you see it, which looks really good here. That looks very
Oh,
fantastic.
Nick Offerman too. Let's fucking go. I'm
Yeah,
excited to see Nick Offerman and some drama shit.
yeah, yeah. I'm very, very much, impressed by. I mean, the cast, the creative team behind it, the look of it. Um, it just be something to watch. Let's see, how it does on its own at being an adaptation, and to see what it can do. Dusk, what are some of your thoughts on it? Yeah.
As someone who has platinumed the original game and
Love it.
seen, it is what it is, man. I didn't. I enjoyed the first one, but I wouldn't say it was the greatest thing ever. However, it was a very well told story with very well defined characters, and that's what carried a pretty okay gameplay to someone who be like, to I understanding completely why some people became so obsessed and loved that franchise. And I used to talk with people who would just talk so happily about The Last of Us and how interesting it was, and I would have great conversations with them about it and what we found different and what we didn't. And then years later, they made the biggest mistake you could possibly make for a game that has a really good ambiguous ending is let's make a sequel to it. And no matter what you do in that sequel, uh, already you're starting at a really difficult note because you have to peak, you have to find a way to match those expectations. And no matter how you feel about that second game, it did not reach those expectations. It did not match them. And even if you like some of the aspects of it, I think it had the irreparable damage of splitting an already a good fan base in half, with some people liking the direction it went and some people deriving, hating it, despising it.
Yeah.
And that unfortunately is the legacy we find this show in. What no matter what side you're in, no matter how you feel about it. So I think in a weird way, if that sequel had not come out and it was just this one game and then they made a series on it, I'd be thinking and feeling a different tune. I'd be like, oh, let's see where the live action portrayal of an already impressive, interesting story that really could have only been told through a video game, see if they can translate that into a series. And while
Okay.
I go ahead,
No,
Hunter.
no, 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 no. You're good. You're good.
And while I think that this production looks excellent, I can't help feel that it will never actually meet up to the game because the games can do something that TV series can't. Game series allow you to be immersed into a completely different medium the way that medium only allows, and allows you. What was interesting about the journey for Joel was you as the character person playing it saw everything Joel saw. You felt everything that you're introduced Ellie, he's introduced to Ellie. So you feel this, seeing this bond grow over time. And I think in a manner of that measure, making your inching your way as you're going that way, you're dealing with is it you're feeling what they're feeling, even if you're watching another character doing it. In the medium of TV series, this is going to be quite different. You're not going to have the same level of intimacy that you did playing a game in it, and you have to make up for that diminishing effect. However, even with all those considered, I do think I am a bit worried after what happened with the sequel. And I'm already noticing little details here and there in the series from the trailer that feel like rewrites or divergence of the original intent story. And I'm worried. I'm worried that they're going to try and gloss over aspects that felt so natural in the game and try to paint characters less with a gray overall morality to straight one or the other. And I think that defeats the point of what made so kind of compelling those original series. That's to be said, I still haven't watched it. I haven't seen it, and I'm intrigued in seeing it, but I can't help but worry considering what Neil Druckmann and his other writing members did compared to Neil Druckmann and a writing team of 12 plus.
So, Dusk.
It's fair.
So here's the one thing I will like agree with Dusk because I haven't finished the game, so
Please.
I'm going in. The changing of mediums with video games into movies or shows just fails so much more often than it succeeds, and like I'm such a fan of the latest Tomb Raider trilogy. Rise of the Tomb Raider is genuinely one of my favorite games I've ever played, and I've seen them fuck up Lara Croft over and over and over again to a point where I'm just like, stop trying. We saw it.
Which one?
We saw. Um,
Games or
the,
movies? Out of
uh,
curiosity. We talking
one.
post Angel of Darkness before the new reboot, or we talking Tomb
Um,
Raider Chronicles
oh
before
no
newer
no.
series?
Oh no, we're talking the square, the square
Oh,
version.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah. That's my Lara Croft. I
got
don't
it.
care about. But when
I was the beginning. I played the ones early in PlayStation, and then the ones in PS2. Then eventually got into the new trilogy, so I had like a more well-rounded understanding of seeing all these different versions.
so I played Chronicles and a couple other of the
Hmm.
earlier games, but just the medium in general, when you
Right.
change it, it rarely works.
Yeah.
And I just because you have so much time of a game. Because what The Last of
Hmm.
Us is what 50 hour, maybe 50 hours. I don't know how long the game is, but I'm sure it's at
So
least
it's 20 plus.
okay.
If you spend all your time looking for all the items, collectibles, every dialogue, every whatever, it's at least 24-hour plus.
Okay,
But if it can be, but if you're not looking for any of that, it's like 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours, if that,
gotcha. Okay,
or
but
even less.
it's like that's a full day in like
Yeah,
minimum of gaming.
sure.
Like you can tell so much story in that amount of time.
Yeah,
This is gonna be what 10 episodes
yeah.
on the high end.
Of a story I've
Like
already mostly seen.
yeah,
Yeah.
so and Dusk is right about something else too. I know I have a lot of friends who game, and it is split right down the middle on Last of Us Part Two. I know people who think it's brilliant. I know people who think it is an insult to the first game in every way, shape, or form. And I have not played enough of either to even have an opinion, so I just kind of let people bitch.
Mhm.
Either way, so do they fuck this up? There's a good chance they could if you're cutting the lot of time that you have for story in half. I mean, just off that alone, but just off the trailers and how emotionally it made me feel, I'm hoping they stick the landing. But if I'm someone like as a comic book nerd, I always get excited for the stuff I'm gonna see. But I have to always fully acknowledge that this is based on 20 run, 30 run, 40 run stories condensed into a 2.5 hour story. What's going to get cut, for
Yeah.
what I like, etc. So for a game, it's even harder. So I think Dust is completely justified in his hesitation because they could fall flat on their face on this and miss elements that make the story special.
I This is a funny moment. It's not really serious, but I was wondering, did you all get the same thought process when, with all due respect, uh, she was talking to the overweight woman and gentleman, and I was like, in my head as a survivalist, going, "How are you still this fat in the in the middle of the apocalypse? How are you this overweight that you can't move from your chair? How are you surviving?"
I so that's a
Maybe
what's
they'll
weird.
explain it, but that was my
Maybe
first
they
thought. I'm like,
will.
"Whoa." That was my first thought.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how long they say like the zombie apocalypse has been a thing too. Because I
Because
mean,
Ellie was born in the middle. Like, Ellie has lived her entire life in the midst of it.
yeah,
Joel is one of the few people who have been old enough to remember before. He even mentions it in the trailer. It's like, because you don't even know what you're fighting for. You don't even know what you remember what it was before.
yeah. So I
And there's that
mean,
that pain of what was and everything that was, and now this is all crap.
one thing that I really do like about the trailer is everything feels like you get Ellie's sarcasm. That's one thing I do remember from the games that very much like a kid is. She's very snarky. Some of the shots are straight out of the game, like her walking across that like that bridge and all that. Like there's some shot things lifted straight out of the game that I think um, will just play really well. But and like I said, I think Pedro Pascal on his worst day is top 20 actors in the game right now. Like he's amazing. But you got to work with the script. And is the script gonna allow these actors to go ahead and bring it in the way that they need to? I don't know.
So January 16th. That's when this is coming out. So fairly soon.
Coming up
We'll
five
know
weeks.
how good or bad it is there. All right, we got two more trailers. One of second to last trailer we're going to discuss is Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear, which aims to be the final outing for Ray Liotta. This is his last movie. It is
Oh really? Oh
yeah,
damn.
yeah. Ray Liotta, who passed away. He passed away this year, right? I believe.
Oh my god, he did. You're
Yes,
right.
he passed away this year.
Yeah,
God
passed.
damn, I told. Wow, this year's felt long. That is wow. That's right. He did pass away. I forgot about that. Damn.
Yeah, 67 years old. So let me look at his. I think this is supposed to be aimed to be his last role. Oh no, he still got a couple more films. Like he's got a Charlie Day film that he's got coming out. That's
Oh,
also
that's good.
the Substance and something called Dangerous Waters and Clash. So he's got some a few other movies kind of coming out. But here, this looks to be like this could either be really good or really bad. I think it could kind of be in between. You know what I mean? With a premise like this, what they're gonna have fun, how much fun they're gonna have with it, how well are they gonna play with it. It kind of all depends on kind of how the writing is with something like this and direction. This is directed by Elizabeth Banks, who so far Elizabeth Banks, I don't know, I've never been a fan of her directing. I mean, she did the second Pitch Perfect, which I never saw, but I heard that wasn't really that good. Yeah, I'm more of a fan of
No,
just
it's not.
the first Pitch Perfect. I like the first one. I like that one,
Yeah,
and
this one's great.
I did see her Charlie's Angels film, but I did not like that. I did not like her Charlie's. Yeah, I did not like her Charlie's Angels film. Yeah, so
It's not because they're women, by the way. Everyone, calm down before you go
yeah.
on that
No, it's
bullshit.
for me. It's because they're
Um,
women. No, no. No, it's just because they were bad movies.
it was it's not well women it, or written
Yeah.
but, yeah it's not good.
So I didn't really like Charlie's Angels here, so it's directed by her. But it's got a good cast though. You got Kerry Russell, you got O'Shea Jackson Jr., you got Alden Ehrenreich, of course you mentioned Ray Liotta, is in there. So you got a nice good cast. Matthew Reese. Oh, it's a return of Kerry Russell and Matthew Reese together since The Americans.
Yeah, beloved character actress Margot Martindale, as
Yeah,
Jack would
Margot
say.
Martin.
Which I'm so happy she's in this shit. I saw her and I was like, oh fuck yeah, you're a cocaine bear.
Yeah, it's got
It,
Isaiah Whitlock Jr. People know from The Wire. He was in that Spike Lee movie recently, The Five
oh
Bloods.
yeah,
Yeah, he was in that. So you
yeah,
got him in there.
he's great.
Um,
This looks insane. Like let's just get out of the way. This looks nuts. This looks like the sort of thing that you should get high and or drunk for, and have friends over and watch this and cheer. Like, yeah, this looks fantastic. It looks like the exact sort of movie. It's kind of like Hobo with a Shotgun. Like I remember when I saw that, I was like,
Great.
I was,
That's a great point. Yes.
and I was like, oh, what did I want? I wanted a hobo with a shotgun. I got exactly what I fucking wanted, no more, no less. And I think this is exactly what I want. I want a bear on cocaine, fucking people up. That's exactly what I want. Don't really care about the characters. They can just be there. Like s- sometimes things can just be what they are. Like the Meg is Jason Statham versus Shark, and I fucking love the Meg. It doesn't try to be deep. It doesn't try to be anything more than that. It knows exactly what it is. And based off this trailer, it knows exactly what you want. You want to see a bear on cocaine, and goddamn it, I can't wait to see this movie.
yeah. I like how the bear does a line of coke off someone's amputated leg. I like how he just does a line of coke there. Also, that's pretty good there. That's maybe one of the best shots in cinema history right there. Um, Dusk, what are some of your thoughts?
This fits right in movies like Miami Connection or Samurai Cop
Oh,
or
yes, good.
uh, Ticket to Hawaii. Uh, these just ridiculous 80s exploitation uh popcorn uh, as a popcorn and beer, watching on a matinee film as you kick back and you laugh or just enjoy yourself as you're kicking back. This is I'm gonna feel sorry for the real life event of the people who did die, possibly to a cocaine bear, inspired by possible true events, if that actually did
Yeah.
happen. But until that moment arrives, I'm gonna have fun watching a crazy premise that they do not take seriously at all with the bear, everything you would want to see with a bear that is high on cocaine. It's exactly what I thought it would be. It's like, oh, you're giving me exactly what I want. It's just as Hunter said. You gave me a hobo with a shotgun. That's exactly what I wanted, and you gave me what I wanted.
Sometimes it doesn't need to be more than that.
No, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Well said.
Perfect Alamo Draft House type movie here. You have with Cocaine with the Bear, I think. Draft House type movie coming out February 24th. Is when it's dropping. So
That's good. There will be nothing around to crush it.
yeah,
It can make some money.
and maybe make a little bit of money there. But yeah, so
The
yeah,
opening weekend for this would be fascinating
mm.
because if this makes 20 million opening weekend, that is such a fucking win for this movie.
Oh yeah, yeah, and this is produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, are the producers on this.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that makes sense actually.
yeah.
Do we know the budget on this?
I was trying to look for the budget. I can't seem to find it. I don't know if you can, but I can't seem to find it here. I'm trying to Google what the budget is, but I can't seem to
Let's
see what it is here. But let me take another look. But I imagine if I had to guess, I'd say around 20 to 40 million, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, I don't think it's more than 40. Man, I'm trying to find the box.
Yeah,
Let me see.
I can't see a budget for it. But you got talented cast. You got an interesting premise here. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, this looks exciting. I mean, sometimes it's hit or miss with these type of movies like this with a premise, but I'm excited for it. I'll say
Yeah.
that. Did you find the budget?
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
Yeah. All right, we got one more trailer, and then we'll head out and I'll raid somebody. I'll save the rest of these news stories for tomorrow. Um, all right, we're gonna be discussing Gen V, which is the spin-off show for The Boys. They announced that they were gonna do a bunch of like spin-offs and things like that from The Boys being so popular for Amazon Prime. This is going to be focusing on a younger generation of soups, as they call them in the boys' universe, people with powers. And it actually involves an actor who I haven't seen since The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I was happy to see that guy get some work. I was like, oh, it's that dude who played I think one of the people that were living in the house with Sabrina, Chance Paradome. Paradome is I think is his name. So he's in this. I was like, oh, it's good to see him. But when you watch the trailer, it looks like traditional boys type stuff here, where you see a lot of blood, a lot of guts, tons of that stuff there, classic in the tradition of the boys, a lot of violence, and I like what they could possibly touch on because if you watch the boys, there's a lot of social commentary stuff that happens there with the boys, and if you're going to be touching on the younger people, kind of Gen Z or kind of millennial age kind of kids, of what you could possibly be touching on there. I'm interested to see that's ripe for good social commentary. What were kind of some of your thoughts on the trailer there, Hunter?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks insane in the way that The Boys is. I think this past season of The Boys is one of my favorite seasons of TV ever. I think it's just a masterclass in how you juggle a lot of balls at once. I love the last season. the fact that they're doing like we kind of knew this was coming. The boys has been way too successful for Amazon for them to not do more shit in this universe. You know, they did the animated show, which did well for them. So,
Yeah.
having a this is actually one of the rare times we're pulling the whole uh, a pup named Scooby Doo formula actually makes sense to go ahead and go younger and show where some of these characters start off who could potentially end up transitioning into the main show.
Mm.
Um, the the puppet shit legit has me so curious, like what that Sesame Street like spoof is. I'm really curious to see what that's about. Um, but also the fact that you're putting this in college, you have a ripe amount. Like the setting for social commentary by setting this in college is there's so much you could touch on in a more natural way that you could even maybe do in the original show. So I'm really curious. I mean, because there's a Me Too conversation coming in this show, or
Mm.
some dialogue on that. Like that's coming, especially with women in college. Like
Yeah.
that's gonna be a thing. Um, so prepare for the certain type of people to be really unhappy. But I'm excited about the avenues it's gonna go down. I don't know what they're gonna do. That's the other thing too, because like we don't know these characters. It's all very. Um, it's gonna be interesting to hear about how long the school's been around, considering how long Soups has been around and Compound V's been around. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of flesh out the mythology of the school itself, and how transfers work, and if they're how many schools there potentially are. There's just some base level questions we'll have to answer on that I'll be very curious about. Um, Seeing people be shrunk down, especially after last season, just gives me anxiety. Like and I'm just like,
Right.
I'm like, like that, like that shit. I'm just like, don't do that. Um, but yeah, just seeing the way that they have the the pictures of Homelander way, like they have um, it's really reminiscent of fucking Confederate statues when you think about it.
Mm.
So there's definitely a conversation to be had there because that's a very easy thought to connect. So this is a great teaser. It's only a minute long, but um, there's a lot of things that kind of make you raise an eyebrow and kind of go, oh. And I think Schwarzenegger's kid is in this. I think.
Yes. Patrick
Uh,
Schwarzenegger. Yeah. Yep.
yeah. Um, we'll. I mean, we'll see if he's got his dad's shot. 'Cause I haven't seen him act in anything.
Well,
But
I mean, it's not like
to
his
learn
dad
something.
was Laurence Olivier here. I mean,
I mean, true, but but his dad has charisma, and
yeah.
covers a lot of shortcomings. So it'll be interesting to see, what he brings on the screen. But I'm happy. It looks like a lot of people I'm just not familiar with, because I like people getting that chance to flesh out,
Yeah.
something in a franchise like this. So um, I'm excited for this. I'm very curious on where it's gonna go and what we're gonna get
Yeah.
and how it ties to the main show.
And you see some people from the main show from Boys, like you see Jesse T. Usher. In this is A Train. You see a
Yeah,
brief glimpse of him. So I guess that scene where he puts on like the hat. I guess that's like when he first maybe, you know, I guess got power, then graduated or something like that, and then he, joined the boys there with the seven. Um, and then you have Chloe Menifee, who's Ashley. She plays Ashley. She's in this. Who's like the handler for the soups there. You see her in the trailer as well. I forget. I was talking about the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. You have one actor there. You also have another, Jan Sinclair, who's from When the Bow Breaks. She was also in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. She was her best friend in it too. She's in this. She seems like she's the lead of this as well. Um, so that's pretty cool to see.
A Train is not. A Train is not wearing his right outfit, by the way. He's not wearing the black outfit.
Oh, yeah. So you can see that there. Yeah, and I've seen Schwarzenegger's son. He was in that movie with what's her name? That girl that was in the show with Zendaya, that Disney Channel show. what was that show called?
Oh,
Uh,
oh God! Don't. Not
uh,
no, not Sunny of a Chance.
Bella Thorne. Bella Thorne. He was in that movie called Midnight Sun. Actually, we reviewed that movie. I forgot what I
Oh really?
said.
Was that good?
It's like one of those. It was like one of those teen die-in movies, romance. Like,
Okay.
it was kind of like one of those. Like the
Oh, that one.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Where
I
she
do
couldn't
remember
go out
that.
into the sun. Like she had an illness where if she saw the sun, she
Yeah.
died or something. You know what I mean? So yeah, some shit like we reviewed it way back because that came out like 2018. We reviewed that shit way back. I forgot what I said about that movie. There, but yeah, I saw him in that. I don't remember what I thought about him in that.
If I
I think maybe I
recall,
thought
you
he was.
didn't speak very favorably of it.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I'm barely remembering it, but as you said that, I was like, oh, I barely remember that. I don't think you spoke very highly. You said you're like, eh.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
pretty much it.
yeah. So that's what I kind of remember him from. Dusk, what do you think about the trailer for Gen V?
It looks as violent as the boys. People who like the boys will maybe like this. Hopefully, the writing team also comes over to this show, and we see what a new generation with soups, including people who shoot out their intestines, are capable of doing. And I'm sure it's going to have commentary on things, and I'm sure it will do what the boys have been doing, and hopefully that will prove to its success.
Yeah. Let me see. When is this coming out?
Honestly, the trailer is not much to go on.
Yeah, that's very true. It's just showing like all the violence. Just to let you know, we still violent. We still gonna be doing some violent shit. Just says 2023. Doesn't give an exact release date. Just says 2023. Hey, how's it going in Mini Park Film? We are almost out of here. Thank you for showing up. We just talked about our last trailer for the day. Yeah, it's been a while. We haven't been streaming for the past few weeks. So we just returned today. Thank you, Dust. Thank you, Hunter, for coming by, helping me out here. That was very much appreciated. So we are done with the trailer talk. We're going to be back Saturday. Possibly, I'll do probably like 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Or 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to be discussing. I'm going to be joined by Chris from the Black Stubbs podcast. We're going to be doing Atlanta. We're going to be doing Andor, Violent Night, Pinocchio, and maybe something else. Maybe I'll watch Tar. Since Tar is on digital, I can sit at home and watch it. I don't have to. Maybe I'll do that. And I'll do that. And then also, if you can't join us Saturday, we're going to be Sunday. I'm going to be joined by Chris Ayers. We're going to be discussing Wednesday, the Netflix series starring Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega seems like she's blowing up. She's blowing up right now. She's having her moment. She seems like she's going to be the new big star right now. So good for her. Also, Disenchanted, which is a sequel to Enchanted, which is the Amy Adams film. Strange World, Devotion, and She Said. I'm possibly going to be discussing that Monday, a little bit earlier, probably 5 p.m., 6 p.m., or 5 or 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So stay tuned for those. I'll give updates to those. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all the afternoon tune. You'll see updates for streams, upcoming streams, what we're going to be talking about, topics, and everything like that. Also, news-wise, tomorrow we're going to be discussing Black Adam. Reportedly, the studio said they lost $100 million, but The Rock says, I don't think so. No, you didn't. Look at this Deadline article. Like, no, we actually made a profit. So I'm going to be discussing all that stuff there. Also, the big shakeup at DC. DC, always something going on over at Warner Brothers. DC, always something happening. It's like something's on, then it's off, then it's on again, then it's off again. It's like, okay, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, the levee has broken, and they can't put it back together.
Yeah. So then also maybe also talk about the Game Awards a little bit. The winners, losers, who the hell was that kid on stage? Maybe people will find out by the time tomorrow when we talk about it. There. And then some sad news. We're going to be discussing some passings. There tomorrow. So with all that stuff there. Hunter, do you have someone for me to rate?
Oh yeah, let's raid. Let's raid Drake and Blaze.
Drake and Blaze. Okay. Let me see. Let me pull them up. See what they're doing here. Do I follow them? Let me see. They're streaming right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Dusk, let everybody know if you want people to find you. Anything like that, links, anything like that.
Right now, I like just appearing on this podcast and hanging out with y'all.
Okay. Hunter, let everybody know about your pod, where people can find it, your information,
Oh,
all that stuff.
yeah. So you can find the real. So my podcast is called The Real Pineapple. You can find it most places you listen to podcasts: SoundCloud, Apple, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, TuneUp, Samsung Podcasts, to name a few spots. At The Real Pineapple. Lately, the latest thing that's been up, because as I mentioned at the start, I just got over COVID, so I haven't really been recording. But I got a review up for the latest John Travolta, Bruce Willis movie, Paradise City, and then I actually interviewed the director, Chuck Russell, who also directed The Scorpion King and the Mask. Uh, there's a 40-minute interview up on the site that you can listen to now of that. And then this upcoming week, I've got a review for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This incredible documentary on person of color education called "Let the Little Light Shine." I got an interview with the director of that documentary, Kevin Shaw, who also worked on the Shaq documentary for ESPN. And oh god, what else? And I've got a review coming up for a bunch of Oscar shit, including a review for Tar, a review for The Fablemans, a review for Babylon, and a review for Pinocchio coming up in the next week and a half. So, yeah,
Yeah.
lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. Okay. How you spell dark? How you spell dark and blaze? How you spell that? You can pull it up real quick. It's a dark and then it's E-N. Is that it?
But let me scroll back up. Yes, it should have been. Yeah, Draken. Blaze, BLAZE.
DRNK.
Draken.
DRAKEN. Blaze.
Yeah, BLAZ.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I do follow him. Okay. Let's see what he's playing right now. Let me see. What is he doing? Yeah. What you got planned for the weekend? Anything planned?
I'm watching a bunch of. So I'm watching. What am I watching tomorrow?
You
So I'm
got so
watching
much stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the stack. You got a bunch.
Yeah, and that's not including the digital screeners. So I'm gonna watch She Said tomorrow. I'm gonna watch Puss in Boots: The Last Wish tomorrow. I'm gonna watch that new Sam Mendes movie, Empire Light. I'm gonna watch that tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get to Devotion on Sunday.
Oh, he's not streaming.
And then I'm gonna try to get to Bones and All and Women Talking, and I gotta watch. Yeah, dude, I got a lot to catch up on. I gotta watch Emancipation, which
The Will Smith one.
yeah,
Good luck,
I'm
sir.
yeah, I'm just slap happy about it. I don't want to watch it, but we'll see. I like Antoine Fuqua, so yeah, my weekend is gonna be watching shit, and I just got a PS5 a couple weeks ago.
Congrats.
So I'm gonna play. Thank you. So I'm gonna play a little Madden, play a little Miles Morales. Test that a little bit.
Yeah. All right. I don't see Dark and Blaze. He's not streaming right now, so I'm just gonna read Vanny Spheres. He's playing some Dungeons and Dragons. He's playing that. Thank you, Mini Park Films. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, Chill. Thank you, Dark and Blaze, for stopping by. Very, very much appreciated. Thank you, everybody who showed up, watched, lurked, all that good stuff. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Dusk. We're going to be
Yes, sir.
out of here. All right, people, you can find us on all the social media: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the Afternoon Tune. Hey, if you want to send us an email, you can do so at theafternoontune@gmail.com. Hey, if you want to see us on streaming, we're on twitch.tv/afternoontune every Friday, Saturday. We're typically streaming there. youtube.com/afternoontune. So if you can't watch the streams, you can catch clips of the show posted on YouTube. youtube.com, the Afternoon Tune. All right, people, we're going to be heading out. We'll be raiding Vanish Spheres. He is playing some Dungeons and Dragons right now. Yeah. So it has been wonderful. Great to be back streaming again. Hopefully grow some more. Got some good, hopefully good plans for next year. Some more ideas for the stream, everything like that. So yeah. Yeah, very good. All right, people. Don't forget to always stay tuned.
Stay tuned.